Hello everybody, this is the Avid Gadgeteer. Hope you all are doing well today. So, I wanted to discuss something today which I feel every iPad buyer thinks about. What case should I get for my iPad? Now there are a plethora of options out there, so my focus today is going to be the cases that Apple provides. That means the cases that are Apple made are essentially the ones that we would like to select and discuss about. What do I mean by that is cases which are manufactured by Apple, and I would like to narrow down to the three cases manufactured by Apple, and in this case my reference iPad device is the 2021 iPad Pro 12.9 inches. So what are the three cases I'm talking about? Number one is the Magic Keyboard for iPad Pro. This is that Magic Keyboard that I'm talking about, and basically if I take this off, this is how it looks like. So this is the Magic Keyboard for the 12.9 inch iPad Pro. Putting this iPad back on. The next one is basically the keyboard folio. What is the keyboard folio case? Well, this is what the keyboard folio is. So this is how it looks like, and let me move my Magic Keyboard out of the way, pop out the iPad from the Magic Keyboard and put it into the keyboard folio case. This is how it looks like. Now what is the third case that is out there? This is not a keyboard case, so let's do this, move this to the side. And the third one is the regular case for the iPad Pro. So these are the three options broadly, and this one is called basically the Smart Folio. So these are the three options provided by Apple, which are made by Apple for your iPad Pro 12.9 inch, and the same for the smaller iPad Pro also. Now, let's talk about the cost first, because obviously cost is an important factor that we all consider. So, starting off with the basic case, which is there, is the Smart Folio. So the Smart Folio is for $99. Then the Magic Keyboard is the most expensive, which is for $349. So $99, $349. And the final one is the Keyboard Folio, Smart Keyboard Folio, which is for $179. This one. So the price range really varies, starts at $99, then on to $179 for the Smart Keyboard Folio, and then for the Magic Keyboard is $349. So from $99 to $349 is your price range. Now let's talk about each case. So the one which I have right now attached to my iPad Pro, which is the Smart Folio, this is without a keyboard. It's basically in a book format. So you close it and it's in a book format. The iPad is exposed from both the sides, and this is something about Apple cases. They keep the edges of the iPad exposed. So if you're really looking for a rugged case without the edges exposed, this is not for you. No iPad case in fact is for you. iPad case, when I talk about, is Apple made iPad cases. Then you need something from a third party which also covers and protects the sides. But these devices are so expensive, think of them as laptops. Would you throw your laptops around? Generally not. So for your iPad Pro also you would not want to. So I prefer Apple cases for the compatibility. I just keep my iPad safe. I do not put it into bags or things where there are loose items around. If I'm putting it into a bag, I make sure it's a separate pocket or a slot, and I make sure that slot does not have anything else. So having the edges exposed, the sides exposed, really is not of concern to me. But again, your mileage could vary. You could be somebody who wants to use their iPad in a more industrial setting, or use it slightly more roughly. Keeping that in mind, don't go for Apple made cases unless you are fine with few potential nicks or scratch on the side, which is not going to impact the functionality of the device anyways. Apple made cases, in my opinion, are the best in terms of how they feel, and they just give a slightly cohesive experience, at least in my mind. You've got a device from Apple, you've got a case from Apple. I'm a strong believer in that. Even for my iPhones, I do the same thing. I try to keep the cases from Apple. The only exception is when you have certain iPads like the iPad mini or the base iPad, which does not have a backing, they just have case to cover the front. At that point, I just take a see-through case from a third party and slap it at the back, because though I keep my devices safe, but I still like to keep them on the table. And if you have the Apple side, the Apple logo side on the table, you can still scratch it. So I do have my limits of how safe I want to keep my devices, and I do consider that can still happen, because you still have to keep your iPad on the table or put it there. Now this has all the features. You've got the requisite magnet, so you close it, you open it up, it turns on. So those feature sets are common. Now going to the keyboard cases. So this is where things get interesting. So going with the Smart Keyboard Folio, which is $479. Do see that all of these have this small connector here, and this is where how the keyboard communicates to the iPad. So once I put it on, now what would be the differences? So basically there are a couple of differences. Obviously there is a difference around the fact that how your device goes ahead and interacts. When I talk about going ahead and interacting, what I mean by that is essentially from your device standpoint, your keyboard isn't backlit, that's for sure, and the angle in which your device is there, it is not floating. Though there are two separate backings, the angles that you can put it on. This is angle 1, this is angle 2, and if you fly a lot and you have those narrow airplane seats, if you're not flying in first class or business class, I kind of prefer this case as compared to the floating case, because this takes up less amount of space. See the difference? This takes up more space, but this does not have the trackpad. This has the trackpad. But if you don't mind touching and you have a cramped place or setting where you'll be using your iPad, go for this case, and it's obviously cheaper, $179. Now this is the best case available. This is your Magic Keyboard with the trackpad. This is how it looks like. Now this one is floating. You have multiple angles, not just two, but you can rotate it. It floats. It's got the keyboard, which is backlit also, by the way. So the keyboard is backlit, and the way the backlight works is that it is basically managed by the ambient sensor of the iPad. So it turned on a little bit if you notice, and then turned off because it realized there was sufficient ambient lighting. Just see this. Turned on, turned off. This is the ambient lighting sensor from the iPad communicating with the backlit keys of the Magic Keyboard. The trackpad is decent, slightly narrow, but the feel is typical Apple. Gestures work. It's not bad at all. This is the white color one. White color is only available for the 2021s. Do keep in mind the 2021 iPad Pro is slightly thicker because of I believe it's the screen. And the mini LED screen, and then that has slightly increased the thickness, and that's why though you can still use the older cases, but they don't come white in color. So if you want to showcase that you've got the latest iPad and the latest current generation case, then this is the one to get, the white color one. I got the white color one because I already had darker regular keyboard case from Apple, so I just kept the colors switched around, so just to showcase a little bit of a contrast. Now let's talk about your uses and which case I would recommend. So the regular folio case I would recommend if you do not plan to use the virtual keyboard and you need the cheapest price possible. Obviously talking about Apple products, so this is $99, no keyboard there, and it's more portable. This is the most portable case. And you can also fold it and use it as a regular tablet, as in folded back. That option is not available. When I talk about folded back, I'm talking it like this. You don't have to deal with another part of the case that covers the screen. This option is not available with the Magic Keyboard. And with this keyboard, the keyboard folio, you can also fold it, though obviously you have the keyboard surface behind. So these are the three cases available. Now in terms of, so obviously this is the most portable one, most cheapest. This is the second most portable one, second most cheapest, $179, least portable, most expensive. But in terms of getting your iPad Pro as close to a laptop as possible, this is the case to go with. And if you really type a lot on your iPad, this is the case to go with, recommended. If you occasionally type, you want portability, the keyboard folio, $179. And if you don't, type, as in you just occasionally type, so touch typing is fine with you on the screen, this is the case to go with, and obviously this is the cheapest. So now to summarize, the case options available, those are made by Apple, is basically the Smart Folio, again $99. Then the next one is the Smart Keyboard Folio, $179, and all of this is US dollar prices, and before taxes. This is the Magic Keyboard for $349. Hopefully this information helps give you some exposure into what are the options available from Apple, and helps you make decisions on what case you want to get, to put your investment in as safe as possible, and to make it as useful for you as possible. Once again, this is the Aspiring Gadgeteer. It was a pleasure talking to you all. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your feedback, good or bad. Always striving to improve, and talk to you all in the next video.